Hi, my name is Lalit Mohan and I'm an Azure specialist. Today's brief session is about Azure Backup for SQL Server that is running in an Azure VM. Once you specify the SQL VM that you want to protect and query for the database in it, Azure Backup Services will install a workload backup extension on the VM by the name Azure Backup Windows Workload Extension. This extension consists of a coordinator and a SQL plugin. While the coordinator is responsible for triggering the workflow for various operations like configure backup, backup and restore, the plugin is responsible for the actual data flow using the VDI streaming. Once you trigger configure protection on the selected databases, the backup service sets up the coordinator with the backup schedules and other policy details, which the extension caches locally on the VM. At the scheduled time, the coordinator communicates with the plugin and it starts streaming the backup data from SQL Server using VDI streaming. The plugin sends the data directly to the recovery service vault, thus eliminating the need of a staging location. The data is encrypted and stored on Azure Backup Service in storage accounts. When the data transfer is complete, coordinator confirms commits with the data backup service. The data can be secured using the server-side encryption of Azure Managed Disk Storage, both for OS and the data disk. The keys can be of two types. Either you can use the platform managed keys or customer managed keys, which can again be either taken fresh RSA keys from Azure or the customer can import their own key. SSE uses in envelope encryption, which is 256 data encryption key, using the advanced encryption standard of NEST based on the substitution permutation standard, which is protected by customer's key. This allows key rotation for VM performance so that when the key is changed, the entire data set doesn't have to be re-encrypted. So let's take a demonstration of this process using two demo SQL VMs that host respective databases and a recovery service vault. So here are the two SQL servers, SQL 1 on the right and SQL 2 on the left. As you can see, both have got SQL Server hosted on these VMs and they have databases, player score database on the left, a credit card data on the right. And as you can see on the left, this is actually showing the batting entries and on the right, it is showing the customer list. Let's focus on one of the servers, that is the SQL 2, and let's take some action. Let's check out what are the various tables that are there. These are the tables. There is one table which gives list of schools. Let's look at that. There are 749 schools here. Let's go ahead and delete 10 of those schools. So as it runs through, and let's run again the schools table. Now, if you notice, it is 739. Let's go ahead and look at the Azure portal to see the Azure backup for SQL Server on the VM backup operations. So here I am in my Azure portal inside the recovery service vault, SQL BKP1. This is a dashboard which shows any errors that have occurred, any backup jobs that have failed or are in progress, and it also shows my current backup items. It shows the backup storage that I'm using, different types, locally redundant storage, which is one data center, but it is still protected against the equipment or hardware faults. The geo redundant storage protected by replication through two regions which are at least 300 miles apart to protect against natural disasters or calamities. Zone redundant storage, that is in availability zones in a single region, and then it is replicated to another region. So let's step in and see the backup items that are currently protected. So here are different type of Azure backup use cases. And currently at the moment, we are looking at the SQL Server running in Azure VMs. So there are two backup items, the SQL 1 and SQL 2, with their respective databases that have been protected. And both of them are currently in healthy stage. Here I have choice to back them up now above and beyond the schedule or policies that have been set. I can do a restore or I can even stop protecting the database. So let's restore the database, and let's choose the SQL2 database, which we had looked at earlier. So here there are many choices. You can restore to alternate location, and then now that will be useful if you want to have parallel operations for loading data warehouses, for backing up into physical media, making or doing reporting on those databases, and so on. So you could actually restore it to different VMs, and here's a drop down to select which are in the same recovery service vault. You can restore to different SQL Server instances and also change the name if you like. At the moment, let's go ahead and select the overwrite database option. And here is the recovery point that we can select. We can choose from full or differential backups from the various choices that are available, various points of full backup which are available, or we can choose the logs, which will allow us much more fine grain recovery, up down to almost 15 minutes. So here, let's pick a point, and the moment we pick the point, it populates the point here, which says, yes, this is the point we want to restore to, and we want the database to be in the working stage when it is recovered. And then go ahead and say OK. You can see the service has already launched the backup. And when you go back to the overview of the backup and take a look at it, now it will show a backup in progress. Let's refresh. It is still in progress. So now the job is completed. It is no more showing in progress. We can actually go and see in the backup jobs, the top one has been completed successfully. So let's take a look at the SQL2 VM. Now here we are in the SQL2 VM with the player score database. Let's again run the list of school. So if you notice, the number of rows in the school table has been restored from 739 to 749, thereby showing that the database has been recovered from that unintentional human error of dropping the 10 lines from the schools table. So let's head back to our Azure portal and the recovery service vault, and let's see the interface or experience of setting up a backup. So here you go, your actually workload is running in Azure. The other choices is of course Azure Stack or on-premises. The type of backup that you want, it could be virtual machine, Azure Files shared, SAP HANA. Now, right now we are interested in SQL Server and VM. You can go ahead and discover the VMs which have not yet registered to any vaults. So in this case, I do have a server, but let's see what has already been discovered. So here is the SQL1 and SQL2, which you saw. One has 6 and other has 4 databases. You can always rediscover databases and new databases are added to those VMs. You can unregister from this vault if it is retired or to be added to another vault, or you can re-register. Now, registration, if you remember, is the process when the local agent is added to the VM. So let's head back. So once that is done, you go ahead and configure databases. And to configure databases, you add the resources. And here you see all the databases that are on those SQL servers will show up. Here's an important flag, auto protect. If you say auto protect on, all the databases selected. And not only that, if any more databases are added subsequently to this SQL server on this VM, it will also be automatically backed up. So it's important and useful for situation where the users may be creating databases on the fly. So let's select AdventureWorks and get back and say, okay. Once that is done, you can go ahead and use the policies that are existing, or you can create new policies. For new policies, you can do either full backup, differential, or log backup. So differential backup is backup from the last full backup always. So here there are many options to fill up from retention perspective when you're doing the full backup. For the differential backup, also you can set up, you can enable or disable it. And then for the log backup, where you can actually set up what is the frequency that you need. So here you can go down to 15 minutes. And this is what permits it and makes it possible. Once it's done, you can also enable the SQL backup compression to save the database space. That's it. Once you complete that, the job will appear. With that, I will thank you for your time and attention to watch this demonstration on Azure Backup of backing up SQL servers running on Azure VMs. Thank you so much and good luck.